Is it wrong that I fantasize about someone else during sex with my partner?
Every once in a while, I think it is okay to be thinking about someone else, something you've never done before, something you've done in the past.
Raven Symone and Nick Cannon are crazy because they just said that it's okay to fantasize about other people while being intimate with your partner. Welcome to my channel, and it is a crazy world that we live in. Nick Cannon and Raven Symone are saying some things that if you listen to them and do what they say, you will perpetually remain single and alone for the rest of your life.
Again, going back to what we were talking about, you get used to it.
Yes.
So therefore, now you're trying to figure out, all right, how do I keep this alive? And every once in a while, you might think of
So that is
else.
a good point. Every once in a while.
I have been in a relationship for over 3 years now and love him dearly, but I often get crushes on other guys. I fantasize about sleeping with them and sometimes being in a relationship with them, and then it just goes away as fast as it appeared. I always conclude that I love my boyfriend and don't want to be with anyone else. Is this normal? How can I stop?
Come on. Come on.
Where if you hooked all of us up to a lie detector test right now and say, have you ever thought about...
Surprise!
Everybody would lose because the brain is such a dynamic organ that you don't necessarily control everything that's going on. And I know a lot of y'all would be listening to Chris Brown and...
Now, let's get some things out of the way. Of course, obviously, if you're in a relationship, it is impossible to think that you would never think that somebody else is attractive. Of course.
Of course!
But there is a different topic when you're saying that it is okay to use other people to take you through the events of intimacy with your partner while doing the very act itself.
Stop it. Get some help.
There are some things that when you allow, it becomes highly problematic, and it is doomed to cause errors and problems in your relationship. This is like saying that flirting with other people is not wrong, but when you start getting sexual in your conversations with those said people, you need to draw a line. Cheating does not happen overnight. Cheating starts from a thought. When cheating starts, it comes from a mindset that, oh, my girlfriend or the partner that I have, boyfriend or girlfriend, is attractive, but I think this person is attractive. And when you keep thinking about that, eventually you'll be surprised when you step out on your partner and you're involved with somebody else.
Emotional damage. Emotional damage.
So the largest sex organ is the brain. So if you are fantasizing, first of all, yes, you need to be fantasizing. Okay. I actually created something called My Vivid Fantasy. So to help people create their own fantasies.
I love that.
Because a lot of people don't even know where to begin, but they don't want to watch porn. They don't want to read audiobooks. They don't want to
start an anime and you just go from there.
That is very popular. But it's a very simple thing that you can do to enhance your sex drive. And you can use your partner's name and imagine all of that with them, or maybe you decide to use somebody else. But use that brain because that's what helps kick off a lot of the sexual response cycle.
And releases those endorphins and all of that good stuff.
All of that.
And this is why I think people use wordplay to justify bad things or wrong decisions. You cannot fantasize about something that you have no experience or knowledge about. And this is where I think things like porn and over-sexualization of content is so detrimental to the human brain because it gives you something to imagine. Wait for a second, I gotta ask a question. Have you all subscribed to this channel yet? I know you are enjoying this video, so make sure you subscribe so we can fly. Back to the video.
Someone that constantly fantasizes about other people while in a relationship. These are a few things that you have to know. What you have to understand is that they had a childhood where intimacy felt very controlling and unsafe, where their needs and feelings were shut down or ignored, and they very likely experienced harsh punishment or criticisms from parents, crushing their sense of self-esteem as well. And as a result of this, they were forced to abandon themselves to please other people, oftentimes adopting codependent traits to survive. And this is extremely wounding as a child, and so they learn to cope with this pain through a strategy of avoidance, running away physically, such as ejecting out of a relationship.
If you have not been with multiple people, when I say multiple people, Nick Cannon here has like over, I don't even know how many babies he has by multiple women. It is doomed that you will fantasize about some things while you're in the act with one person, because one person cannot do the same thing that another person can do. And I will not lie, there can be some type of curiosity, because there's a difference between being curious or curiosity and fantasizing. With fantasizing, there's already a prior experience that you've had, and you enjoy that experience to the point that you prefer that experience to the person that you're with at the moment. And then there's curiosity, where you just have word knowledge but no experience. Either way, fantasizing is a completely different thing that we need to address. And when you're saying that it's cool to fantasize once in a while, how would you feel if your partner told you that? And if your partner can tell you that, then you probably will not be in that relationship, which goes back to say that is not the right thing to do, because you know that your partner would not like to hear it.
Stay off the weed. Stay off the damn weed. And they don't listen.
You can tell your partner that you think this person is attractive or cute. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's been realistic. But you cannot say that same thing about fantasizing about somebody else while being in the bed with your partner is cool, because your partner will be deeply hurt by it. Now, people may ask, why can't we just ignore these people? They're not that important. And I'll tell you why it's not easy to ignore people like this. Because whether you like it or not, Nick Cannon and Raven Symone have a huge, I just tried to do my Donald Trump impression, but Nick Cannon and Raven Symone have a huge influence on people, regardless of whether you like it or not. For this topic to be spoken about, it means that there are people, and when I say a lot of people, that are contemplating these feelings and do go through these same experiences, but they want to be anonymous because they know it's not right. And when people like Nick Cannon and Raven Symone address it, because of their own lifestyle and because of the relationships that they've been in, they have to find a way to justify it, because they know that they too indulge in the same things. And meanwhile, these people are not in the most monogamous relationship, they're not in the happiest relationships, and they're not even the relationship that the average person will ever want to be in.
At times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things just because I'm a man?
Right.
And
but not all men do that. We don't want to blanket
I'm a
all
man,
men.
and I
All
would take
men do not
advantage-
prey and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans prey and manipulate, but in a man
Not
in a
in a
relationship,
preying way, not in a preying
if
way.
I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm gonna do and say whatever I need to do to get this. First of all, let's you're acting as if I'm entering every scenario with the full me, and we all, every time someone meets someone, you're meeting their representative. I know how to turn on the perfect man.
Depending
and so
on the
therefore
person,
I may have manipulated a situation, and therefore so it's to no discredit to anyone else, but I've come into every situation. I can be God-fearing, celibate, the one that you want. I can tell you everything that you want in a man and show you that. I can open the doors, lay down the cloak, send the jet, do it all to be like, oh my goodness, I've never. And then toxic Nick shows up, and you're like, this motherfucker got me.
No, but
he
what
done
you said
gave me
is
the
perfect.
draws, and I ain't heard from him in 3 weeks.
What you said is perfect. No, what you said is perfect, because you named all of the low-functioning, superficial things that a low-functioning woman would fall into.
Church,
women,
that ain't low-functioning.
Baby, any woman,
We going to see the Lord together.
Raven has not been the same since That's So Raven, and these are childhood celebrities. So they have a lot of influence when it comes to the ears of people that are listening in their formative years. And for Nick Cannon, for somebody that has so many baby mamas and so many children with different people, I don't think he should ever have a say or he should ever speak when it comes to establishing a proper relationship between a man and a woman and between a family. Because you cannot teach people to be something that you're not. All because you have a podcast and all because you have a mouth and all because people listen to you doesn't mean that you should speak on some certain issues. And that's why when they do speak on these certain issues, we need people that have a brain to come out and correct it, especially when it's very necessary to the likelihood and the balanced living of two people in a sexual, intimate relationship. Don't take advice from these people because they try to mix the truth, a little bit of truth, with a little bit of lies to justify their own way of life. And if you want to live that type of life, that's fine. Do whatever you want. But do not call black white and do not call the wrong thing right. Let me know your opinions in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.